pride in living off the land, communing with the spirits of the earth, and maintaining the ways of the old gods. Alec is the first daughter of the chieftain and first in line to one day become chieftain herself, though she much prefers running about in the trees, wasting times with the cubs, or hunting for the lost treasure.
And unmute, and hello everybody, welcome to Roll with Advantage 5e. My name's Joe, and I pray to the old gods and the new that this is a much more pleasant viewing experience for you. I guess we'll see what y'all in the chat say whenever this catches up.
It's working.
It works! Ha ha ha! Yes! Thank you. Thank you, Valard. You really came in clutch there with the maybe have to restart OBS. That's what it did. Have you tried turning it off and then on again? Boy, did I. And it worked.
Did you blow into the cartridge and then put it back?
Yeah, I totally did that. Totally.
I assume that's how OBS works.
That is, yeah. I literally took apart my computer, just blew on
Excellent.
it, and then restarted it, and it was fine. Okay, so, obviously, since we're already a little bit delayed, there's no need to dally here. I just want to say a few things real quick at the beginning. For one, thank you to our artists, Lisa, Gemma, Andy, PT, Dat, all of them doing amazing work for the show in different ways. Recently, Andy, having just completed every single character between all three of the campaigns and doing art of yours truly. And I love it so much. And I wish that the intro was ready today with me, but I guess we'll just have to wait for Salamander Coast on Tuesday to see that. Regardless, the only other thing that I want to say before we get started is this Saturday, tomorrow, March 13th at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we are going to be starting a God of War charity stream where over the course of 24 to, if I'm being honest with myself, 30 hours, I will be playing through the entirety of God of War 2018 from start to finish on New Game Plus. And I'm going to be doing this with it's going to be myself and my friend Mark, who is the co-owner of the channel with me. Several months ago, we did The Last of Us Part 2 charity live stream where we raised $1,123 for the Trevor Project. And now we're going to be attempting to raise $770 initially with a stretch goal of $1,450 for a charity called A Kid Again. A Kid Again is a wonderful charity that provides recreational activities for families with children with life-threatening illnesses and diseases. So in an effort for those families to have a stress-free vacation, a year worth of stress-free vacations, A Kid Again goes through different parks, zoos, museums, and other businesses in order to give those families 1 year of vacations for free that they don't have to pay for, so that family and that kid can, well, they can feel like a kid again. It's a wonderful charity, and I and myself and everybody that's a part of the Roll with Advantage team, all of us are very excited to be supporting such a wonderful cause. So please tune in tomorrow from 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time until 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time the next day, but probably like noon the next day. I really don't want it to be, but hey, it's for a good cause, so it's all good. I can take a number to my sleep schedule if it's for a good cause, right? Right. Okay, that's the big thing. Tune in tomorrow, please, please, please. We'd love to have your support and a way for us not to go insane while we're staying up for 24 hours playing a video game. All right, so that's that. That was the last thing. So I think with that, we should roll the intro and finally dive into the Explorers and Efera, with a not scary title, Father and Child, session 39. Let's dig in.
Again.
Alrighty, we are back. So let's go ahead and dive in. Last we had left off, the party had found themselves victorious in the city of New Verdalca. After many weeks of questioning and stress, the party can finally start to see the light at the end of the tunnel. The civil war that they had fallen into, they have now worked hard enough so that that civil war, that revolutionary war, is starting to come to a head. After months of fighting where they weren't involved, and then several weeks of fighting with them involved, they were able to turn the tide in the favor of the natives and the colonists who sided with the natives, and against those who would keep Efera tied down in chains. So now, the party finding themselves victorious in the city of New Verdalca, they decide to reap what was owed to them. Whether it be magical items or money, or pieces of property or titles, the party receives it all, and they prepare, in a week's time, to head off to New Efera, the supposed capital of Efera, the last sort of stronghold of this abhorrent behavior, this last gasp, this death throw of this way of life for colonists that, well, as the party has fought so hard for, needs to be rid of. So, last we had left them off, there was only one more day left. The next day was going to be the day that those armies marched and headed to New Efera. However, on the mid-afternoon of the day before their march, horns were heard in the distance approaching New Verdalca, the city they're currently in. And those horns were heralding the arrival of almost 1,000 natives, whether they be of the tribes of Congiato or Coagiato, the home of Alec and Nahara, respectively. They were natives who served Alec, who wanted to serve the Silverfoot family. They were brought here by Kagan and Ko, two NPCs, two people that the party had a relationship with. With Ko, much more favorable, but with Kagan, a little bit more tense. And that is where we had left off. It is worth noting, however, that this downtime hasn't been all happiness and sunshine. One thing that the party promised one of their allies was they would find an item that would restore his divinity, an angel who had fallen from Celestia. A feather, an item that they happened to be in their possession. However, the one in possession of this item heard voices. A voice of a father figure to him, Rune Master Emeriel. Apparently the man who raised him and taught him how to use magic. He heard an echo, a distortion of that voice in his head, claiming and enlisting him to carry that burden and to keep it because it was rightfully his. It's later discovered that while there is a chance that that may have been Emeriel, you know from the Silver Rose, the angel who had lost his divinity that was your ally, that the item that Cyrus possessed, the Deck of Many Things, is an item absurdly powerful and cursed. Cursed that whoever holds it begins to see things in a different light. An item made by something truly evil, truly manipulative. Luckily, you were able to find Cyrus, you were able to retrieve the feather, and you were able to break away that deck from his clutches, and Cyrus returns back to his normal self. So, with that, I'm going to pick up right after all of those natives have bowed to... All of those natives had bowed to Alec, and Cyrus, and Selah, and Varnast, as Alec had backed up to the three of you, because in her mind, it's not just her. This wouldn't have been possible without all of her party members. So all of those natives bow, and eventually they look up to you, and they await your instructions, Alec. All of these natives look up to you and wait for you to tell them what to do.
Um, After Alec had initially gone red from the encounter, um, she just looks to Kagan and she says, "We need to talk. You, myself, Annika, and the mayor. We need to come up with exactly how we are going to approach New Efera."
If you say so. Your wish is my command. And he stands, and with that, the rest of the natives follow and stand as well, ready to follow you.
There is a place being built for you all. It is not quite ready yet, and homes are being constructed, and the hope is that we can integrate our people with these people. In the meantime, uh, you can walk amongst streets without fear. You can shop in their stores. You can eat alongside them. Tell our people to enjoy their evening and relax for once. And tomorrow will be a day of victory. She kind of like looks around as though she's not sure if that's the right thing to say or not.
And you can see all of them sort of looking back and forth from one another, but eventually they all nod, and there is this general accordance of yes and sounds good, and we'll do this, and different tones of common or in your native tongue as they speak back and forth to one another, and eventually all of the natives begin to break off and walk away and start to head off into separate directions.
I think that we need to come up with a plan and be ready to march as soon as First Light. But Kagan, I will tell you what I've told my friends. If we come upon my father, I ask that you...
Stop. You need say no more. Whatever you wish, it will be done. I will not get in the way. It is your right.
Thank you. Let's go find the others, and we have a lot to talk about. And a lot of planning to be done, so this is done right.
He nods, and he begins to follow you. So, with that, the four of you and Kagan, right, you wanted to head to the governor's mansion?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've still got Naki, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Naki, he would have kind of, like, been doing a, I'd say, like, almost like a half bow, like, during that whole thing, because he's, like, not sure if he should be standing or kneeling with the rest of them, because he's been around them for the past, 2.5, 3 months almost. So he's just kind of doing like a half standing, half kneeling thing. And now he's just kind of like holding your hand, just clutching it. And so as they all begin to disperse, he kind of looks up to you and says, do you mind if I come with you?
I've kind of got to take you to where you're going to be for a while, so yeah.
Okay. Kind of scoots a little closer to you.
As we're traveling, or like beforehand, I guess, can I roll an insight check on Kagan?
Yeah, sure. Make an insight check.
Varnas is kind of wondering if he buys this sudden sense of loyalty that's coming from him, considering what happened last time.
Thank you.
Dong!
No, yeah, I mean, it's also something to keep in mind is quite a bit of time has passed. It has been 3 months since he's seen you guys. So there is that to think about as well. But at least as far as you can tell, he doesn't seem... there seems to be no ulterior motive or hidden agenda, at least as far as you can tell. Just seems like he's a man who realized he made a mistake and is willing to say it and try and amend for it.
All right. Cool.
Cool. Okay. So, with that, the four of you make your way back. And I'd probably say, Morganix, you could have heard the horns and then the mass amounts of voices to the northern side of the city if you wanted to go investigate. Or if you would have just kept doing what you were doing. I'll leave that up to you.
Kind of had some things I had to do, which was part of me not being there. I feel bad that she's not there, but this is our last day here.
True.
Yeah, true.
So I would have to see my errands through.
Okay, all right, sounds good. Sounds good to me. So, with that, the four of you make your way to the governor's mansion. Eventually making your way through the gate just like before. Kagan and Ko and Naki with you. You're ushered up, and as you make your way in, once again, Ulf, Governor Torin, and Lawbearer Annika sort of greeting you as you enter, and looking at Kagan being there with some surprise. And you can see Governor Torin look and sort of nod, and
I thought that I recognized those horns. Natives. Now,
They are our allies.
Of course. I'm assuming that my... Please correct me if I'm wrong, but I had scouts tell me that there were 1,000 of you. Were they incorrect in their counting, or is that a true statement?
That is correct. They are to march with us to Efera.
Well... Good.
But I thought that now would be the best time, if any, to come up with our exact plan, since we're all here.
Yes. Well, it's rather simple. It's just a matter of getting everything organized that has been the issue. What generally is going to happen is half of the forces will be moving by sea to blockade the port. The other half will be marching northward through the Leaping King Inn and Ul's Crossing, marching on the gates, cutting them off from the sea and the land, surrounding them on all sides. Just as a added security measure, Agatha's old flagship will be taken with us, not to be used, but as a sign of force. However, now I suppose that the majority of the soldiers can be sent on ship, and then the majority of the natives can be sent northward through the roads. They travel faster anyway.
She kind of looks between Kagan and Varnast. This sounds good, yes?
I think that it sounds like a plan to me. I see no problem with it. Your soldiers, Alec, they are of water, yes, but much more used to small boats on rivers, not the open ocean.
Okay, but by land, we will travel then. And we will approach the gates. Varnas, does this plan work for you?
What do we know of Efera's defenses?
Well, frankly, as my last scouts and informants have led me to believe. Most of them are stripped away and stripped down. The only line of defense that is left is the walls that lead to the keep itself. The rest of the city is ruinous, war-torn. As far as I
What about-
understand, there aren't very many soldiers left in that city anyhow.
And civilians? I don't wish to harm anyone else that doesn't need to be involved in this.
No,
Both of our people have suffered so many losses.
the letters that Jalissa have been receiving, that she's been kind enough to share, have been from a man named G. Just the letter. Talking of hiding civilians in different ruined buildings or in the sewers. But keeping them safe, and whenever help does arrive, he will make sure that they stay out of the streets. So anyone wandering are enemies, no allies.
Well, then a display of this magnitude might be enough to stop anyone in their tracks. As always, it's a fine plan, just be prepared to adapt it if something changes.
Yes, I'm actually quite happy the group of you stopped by, especially you, Cyrus. As I've
Admiring my
come...
flats, I see.
Yes, your clothing does look quite nice.
Yes.
Tell me
that's
afterwards where you purchased it from. I've been looking for a new clothier.
Oh, I shall.
Well, I wanted to ask all of you, as I had heard there were some interactions at All's Crossing with a woman. No name known to her, just the number 14. Is that true?
Shit.
The reason I ask
Yes.
is because there is another working close with the Governado. No name.
There's another person at this location.
Yes, as I said, there's no name, but he merely goes by 7.
Agatha mentioned 7.
What information did she give you? As all I know is that he's been cruel, as far as any of my notes go.
That's about all she said as well, from what we overheard. Unless you heard something. Oh, right, she's not here, sorry. That was all I overheard from her.
Very well.
I could prove to complicate things.
I know it might be a long shot, but as I recall, there was a man in a floating tower who was once a servant of the Governado. And, Imdradil?
Amaral.
Immaril, yes. I'm not sure if you have any way of contacting him, but if he left, he took his entire tower with him, perhaps knowing that the forces of the Governado are dwindling, he might be willing to come back, and no matter how strong this 7 is, I doubt they'll stand a chance against him. If the stories are true, that is. But this is all conjecture. I haven't even heard anything more than just cruelty and something about experimentation, but It's about as far as the intel goes.
Cyrus, do you have a way of contacting him?
No. He made it very clear where he was going. It was the last contact we would have for some time. If I could, I would have already.
I can.
I mean, I'll be honest, darling. I didn't think that was his vibe. I thought that was too easy for him.
It's worth a shot. I mean, Cyrus, I hate to say this, but you almost died during that fight.
No. I had it all along. It was merely for dramaticism.
Uh-huh. But you also almost died. And I don't want that to happen again. Maybe
Very well.
together we can all handle this, but it couldn't hurt to reach out.
Frankly, I've been worried about doing this alright, so I would have asked earlier, but I suppose if you think this is one of our only chances, then so be it.
Vardas, do you think that this is a good idea?
Certainly can't hurt to try. It's better to know what we have as a tool and a weapon on our side rather than finding out later. I can do it now if you want.
Oh. I leave it up to your discretion.
Anyone
Either
else want to weigh in?
Either way, this 14-7, these people, I feel as though it should be something we all handle as opposed to anyone else. And if we are making plans, he should know what to expect. He should know when we're leaving and when the attack is, so it would not hurt to send something now.
What time do we expect to arrive at New Efera?
Well, initially, by boat it takes 3 days, and marching in regular army would be a week, 7 days.
It won't take us a week.
No, with the natives, at the most 3 days, same as by ship.
Give me a moment, and Varnast will cast Sending to Emerald. I don't like that. I don't like that.
Excuse me, sir. Can you not?
All right. Emerald. This is Varnast. We and our army arrive at New Efera in 3 days. We'd like you there. 7 will be there. And I'll
You got
stop
one
there.
word left.
Bro. How do I always get to 24?
Naturally, you just need to start ending it with YOLO.
Yeah. Dang.
YOLO!
It's 4 words, though.
Okay. Okay. Sorry.
No, you're not. Don't lie.
Lot of thoughts.
Okay.
I'm loading into the Matrix right now. So that's what's happening.
He's like, what's Emerald do?
It's just all
What's
green symbols. Okay. You do receive a response.
Is he gonna share it with us? Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
I was getting there. I was getting there.
We're all on edge.
I know.
I'm so sorry. It was a long silence. I'm sorry. I'm muting myself.
That's okay. Varnest. This pleases me more than you could imagine. I will meet all of you in All's Crossing. Give Cyrus my best. That's it.
He'll meet us in All's Crossing.
Wait, what? That worked?
What? Why would it not work?
It was that fucking easy? We could have done that from the start?
Yeah, you never asked me
I
to.
thought it.
I just thought,
I thought it was some fucking clandestine shit.
what? No. Just literally, I just have to know the person.
Well, he said,
Like,
"Oh, this could be the last time we speak for a while," and now it's like, "Hey, you up?"
I mean, I couldn't do this when we first met, so maybe this was a surprise to him.
Well,
But-
surely this is good.
Yes, we just gained Rune Master Emerald in the takeover of New Efera. So that's good.
Yes,
Right.
very good indeed. Well, what was going to be, very gruesome fight seems to be a passing breeze now. Good.
Right.
Good.
Well, I think if this is settled and how we travel, I will be walking with my people, and we will.
Wait,
You're
does
gonna
that
stop
mean the
yourself.
rest of us have to walk too?
That's something I would like to ask if you would like
You
to
hate
join me.
us. You hate
It's-
us, but yes.
Okay. Cyrus, Varnast,
Is there a carriage?
no, that would slow us down.
Oh. Is it far?
You know where New Efera is.
As long as you can keep up, we will be there within 3 days.
That sounds far.
If you would like, I could, the kids call a piggyback ride.
Yes. This sounds pleasing to me.
God, it's scarily similar to Krunk and Yzma. Oh God!
I hate you. You just equate Alec to Kronk? Come
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. But then I also
I'm getting
equated
tired.
Cyrus
Pull
to
over.
Yzma.
Apt metaphor, if you ask me.
Yeah, it's
Oh
really.
man. Oh
I'm photoshopping it after the session. It's happening.
God.
Please, please.
Okay. I don't think Alec understand what she just agreed to, but she looks excited. Okay, then I think we all need to prepare because this is going to be quite the battle, and it is not going to be easy. But I feel our victory in the air. This is good. We have allies. We have our people. We can do this.
You're right. You can.
And Alec, you can feel Kagan put a hand on your shoulder and squeeze it a little bit and give you a nod. Okay. So, with that, unless you guys have anything else to say, you will be allowed to leave
and do your final prep in these last few hours before you leave tomorrow at dawn. So,
That's all I got.
okay, and does either one of the other three of you have anything to say to the governor, Ulf or Annika?
No, but Sayla is going to need Jalissa at some point to drop off little Naki.
Gotcha. Okay, sounds good. So we'll hop back to that, but for now we're gonna hop to Morganix, in the markets. So, Morganix.
Feel so bad.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Alrighty. So, you are doing some last minute prep and a little bit of shopping, and gardening. I remember before
Yes.
you head off. So what exactly are you looking for in the markets? And then we'll handle the magical or the harvesting of the ingredients here in a little bit. But
Right.
What do we
Hopefully it'll be fast. First, would I know what is faster for a letter? Getting someone to take it by ship or sending it from a bird in the rookery?
by Raven, yeah.
Okay, then I'm gonna go to the rookery and send 2 letters.
Okay.
One to my parents and one to Headmaster Reginald.
Oh, shit. Okay.
But I'm having them both sent to Headmaster Reginald, and I'm asking her to give the one to my parents. I'm not sending it to their house.
Okay.
And I am telling Master Reginald everything. Absolutely everything that has happened. What is going on with the Tarkarian Trading Company. The revolution. All of it. And asking for their support and getting the word out.
Oh shit. Okay.
I'm telling her Duncan's dead. I'm telling her everything.
Okay. Everything. Even all the stuff about the Silver Rose and Malcanthit, like all of it?
Absolutely all of it. And
Okay.
same to my parents.
Ooh. So it's just like
I'm
two,
telling
like copy and paste, same thing.
the one to my parents has a lot more emotion behind it, and it's telling them that I am an ASMR, and it's telling them I wish that I had told them when I was figuring it out as a child, because I believe they may already know, and I believe they would have been supportive. It wasn't that I didn't trust them, it was only that I was so self-conscious and afraid of being different. But I'm not afraid anymore. And I wish that I had just been honest with them.
Okay. Okay, cool. All right, got that. Okay.
I can write them up if you want. It would just take a long time on the stream, and we started late, and I feel bad.
Oh no, that's okay.
And
I
yes,
mean,
Lisa, I am telling them everything.
yeah, no. I got it. I said everything, everything.
I'm also
all of it.
stressing to my parents, do not come here.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, let me write that down. Do not come to Efera. Please,
The best thing that they can do is take care of themselves.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sounds good. Okay.
If I die, I want them to know everything. I don't want them to think I was keeping secrets from them. I don't want to go out that way.
Okay. Right.
And that I don't intend to die, and I'm going to fight, and I love them.
Okay. Double awe. Yeah, I agree. Okay.
Sorry.
No. It's all good. Because this is a good thing a good letter to send out.
I feel so bad that Morganix wasn't there for the other stuff. I feel awful about it.
No, you got stuff to do. It's okay. They'll fill you in. Alrighty. If she does no secret, she loves them. Got it. Okay. So we'll say for the 2 letters, we'll just say 1 silver piece. Sending out the 2 letters.
Oh, done.
Boom. Spent. All right. Then the other thing was just the garden, right?
There is a garden, and I'm going to try to contact the Silver Rose before we leave. That
Got-
could be tonight, that could be in the morning, it could be whatever fits in, but it's going to happen before we go.
Okay, all right, sounds good. So I will move you real quick to the chateau. Oh, wait a second, the recorder can't do that, only I can. So I'm gonna move you to the chateau over here. Fly. You use your wings, you fly, you get over there.
Not so much. I don't want anyone to, like, take me out like a clay pigeon.
Yeah, exactly. Don't want to get 360 no-scoped. I get it. All right, so you get there, and obviously he has a large garden. Only
Yeah,
a
he
few of
does.
these plants are magical, not all of them. So real quick, I'd like you to make an Arcana check and a Nature check, both with advantage, to sort of see how many of these ingredients you harvest.
Oh, damn. Oh, shit, that didn't roll with advantage, sorry.
That's okay. If you, like, go to the... Yeah, you can do that, too. But if you, like, go to the chat window, like, when it does that, you can click, like, a little plus button. Like, when you
but
hover
it's-
over the number. Yeah.
I'll just click twice, it's fun.
Yeah. Tick, tick.
Not bad, not bad.
Okay, yeah, 19 and a 19. No, that's really good. Okay. So, some of these plants you are unfamiliar with. They look, very...
I'll put on the glasses if it helps.
Okay, all right. So
The magic ones.
that would help with preventing any damage happening to yourself, because some of these are...
Wait. I used them already today, I think. Oh, wait, no, that was yesterday. I'm good. Never mind. Ignore
Okay,
me.
yeah.
What happened last session?
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, you use them, and that luckily helps you from, like, blowing yourself up with a plant. Because some of
That's
the...
how I want to die.
It's blown up by a plant, yeah. Some of these plants are magical, and they're more evocative magics, where they are literally like fire blossom flowers that are literally like seeds that were gathered in the elemental plane of fire and planted here.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I'll say that you have found, let's see, we'll break it down like this. 250 gold worth of destructive alchemical ingredients. So
Wait. Hold on. But I got... You said 200 or 250?
250, yeah. Yeah, here.
Explosive.
250 explosive.
Cool.
Oh, man. That's you.
It's cool. I type fast.
Okay. And then you also gather another 250 worth of magical healing herbs.
Ugh. Sploosh.
And then finally, 100 gold worth of non-magical healing herbs and spices, Italian herbs and spices. Subway.
Son.
Yep.
Is there a way I could try to harvest one of those fiery flowers and preserve it for Cyrus? Because I think he'd lose his mind.
Oh yeah, you could. We'll say just 200 gold worth of explosive then.
Okay.
Just
Is
still.
that code for grind up and snort?
Oh no!
He's not. I cannot recommend you do anything
Do
but
it.
that enough.
Do it.
Don't
I'm
be
trying to do a nice thing.
Don't be a bitch, Cyrus. Snort the fire pedal.
Do it.
Oh god.
You people. Man.
Peer pressure, do it.
Oh god. Okay. So yeah, we'll say that. And
Shit, I forgot how to edit my inventory. I'll figure it out.
okay, yeah.
There it is. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. Let's see. So yeah, we'll say that. So just so you know, when you take the time to do it, with the magical ones, you could make greater healing potions. And let's see, it's 250. So you could make 5 greater healing potions, and then with the 100 regular magical ingredients, you could make 3 common healing potions. Just takes time.
And the explosives I can get creative with.
The explosive, you can get creative. Yeah, you can make alchemist fire. You can make really whatever
Nice.
explosive, just destructive in general. You also have that ice core thing that you got from the water elemental, so you could mess around with that and the explosive. Yeah, it's up to you.
I think Alec has that.
Oh, okay. Well, if she
Or
lets
somebody that's not me.
if she lets you have it, you can have fun with it. Really do whatever you want with those.
Cool. Tight.
No doubt, no doubt. Alrighty. There is that. And then, okay, cool. So we got those. So then, is there anything else you wanted to do before you headed back to contact the Silver Rose?
No, those are the two big things.
Okay. So we'll throw you back there, and then Sayla. We'll hop back to Sayla now. So Sayla, Jalissa is in the governor's mansion. So would you have let the rest of the party head back to the estate while you hang out and talk to Jalissa for a bit?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. Sounds good. Boop. Boop. And boop. So then, Sayla, you hang out there as the rest of them leave and depart. And eventually as you're walking out, you head up the stairs where you know Jalissa will be. And her door is open. You can see her sitting at a desk, writing a few things out. And she sort of looks up to you as you approach and says, Jalissa, I am... Oh, what? Oh, sorry. Sayla, I'm very happy to see you. Frankly, I didn't... Well, who is this? This little boy, cute as a button. Who is this?
This is the one I told you about. The one that I gave you that, gems to help out.
Ah, yes, Naki. Hello, Naki. It is good to meet you. And you can see him kind of hiding. No, Kayla. Stop. Oh God, sorry. And so you can see Naki. He's kind of like hiding behind your leg, just sort of peeking out around the corner, looking at this at least to him, very strange woman, sort of looking to you, like looking up to you, like, is this lady okay? But without saying it, and like looking back to Jalissa.
He's a little shy, apparently, with you. She just kind of like pushes him towards Jalissa.
Don't worry.
She's a friend. She's not going to hurt you. She only bites a little.
Exactly, and provided that you behave, and even maybe behave with a little bit of mischief, everything will be all right. Okay? Okay. Okay. So, well, I'm happy that you found him, but I'm assuming that you want me to help, as you said.
Yes, just until we're ready to. Well, I guess until after we go back to the Seraph.
Very well. Tell me, Naki, do you have any favorite foods or any favorite snacks or drinks? Well, I haven't had them in a long time, but when I was in the bigger city with all the people, there was a guy, a tiefling guy. He had the horns, and he got me these apple tarts, and they were really good. And I haven't had them in a while, and I think that I'd like some more. If that's something you have, I don't know. And he kind of like mumbles off, and Jilsa sort of smiles, leaning forward towards him, and she looks up to you and smiles and says, "Tell me, Sayla, when you originally met Naki, what did you teach him? Did you happen to teach him anything?"
Pickpocketing. And she just kind of gets this grin on her face, like, yeah.
Well, tell you what, Naki, why don't you and I go out on the town and we can go get you some of those apple tarts. And, well, there's going to be a vacant spot where I might need some ears and eyes to help me with my daily to-dos. A little job, if you will. Naki kind of like looks up to you like, is this okay?
As long as it's nothing that it's gonna get him hurt.
Naki looks back to Jalissa. She says, No, no, no. I promise you nothing will happen to him. We'll save the big things for when he gets older.
True enough.
And Naki sort of looks between the two of you, and then looks back up to you, Sayla. Says, Will I see you again?
I'm hoping so. I still have to take back the Seraph and get rid of the, I guess she's not even an angel. I don't even know what she is.
Okay. I missed you is all. And I want you to be safe, because if I go back home, I want you to come with me.
I'm gonna do my best. I'm not promising any.
Maybe a little promise?
Promising isn't good. Don't promise things you can't keep, and I can't keep that.
Okay. Well, I promise that I'll keep practicing my pickpocketing.
Very good.
Good. See him kind of walk over towards Jalissa a little bit, still kind of looking at you. And he looks to you one more time and says, can you at least promise that you'll try to come back to me?
Yes, I can make that promise. I will try.
And as you're midway through the sentence, he's already sprinting back towards you to like wrap his arms around your waist and give you one more hug. That is so tight that you almost like stop breathing for a moment because he's just squeezing so tight. And then eventually he lets go and looks up to you and says, good. And kind of sets his head up against your waist.
It's gonna be kind of like one of those little Baymax moments where it's like he's trying to be genuine, but it doesn't come across. There. Just patting the top of his head.
Okay. You can see he doesn't mind. He's just happy there. And then he kind of drops his arms and steps back. And then looks to Jalissa and says, so, apple tarts? We're gonna get apple tarts, right? And Jalissa stands and says, well, yes, we're going to get apple tarts, and who knows, maybe we'll pick up a few more things along the way. It'll just depend on how quick you can be. And Naki sort of smiles. And with that, the two of them pair off, head out the door, and begin to head down the stairs and out on the town to go get some apple tarts and whatever else they pick up.
Sayla's just gonna rub her face and be like, oh, Jesus, I'm getting way too close to people. And then she's like, I guess it's good. And walks away.
Alrighty.
Everybody's gonna die and she's gonna be so upset. You just wait. If somebody dies, she's gonna be very upset.
Way to be positive.
It's okay. If Sayla dies, she'll just come back playing Naki and it'll be great.
Oh gosh. Revenge of the Naki.
There you go. Alrighty. So with that, eventually Sayla makes her way back to the academy. And I'd say with that, probably 7:30 at this point, getting later into the evening. And evening comes to all of you guys. And well, oh, okay. Sorry. I saw my name and I was like, oh, what did I do wrong? Wasn't me though. And all of you prepare to have one final meal in the house with your new house cat, Charlie. And Doglin. Now, seemingly, they've only been together for a couple of days, but it seems like they're getting along at least better now. There were a few times where they got into some play fighting that got into a little too serious, but luckily, Megonix and Alec, you broke them up, and it seems like they made up. Doglin brought Charlie a peace treaty of a large fish, and seems to be a temporary peace between the two, at least for now. But with that, you all partake in your last meal in the academy. Your rooms, generally where you might want them to be, still a little cluttered, but over the time that you're gone, people will be in and out to tidy them up how you want them, and eventually constructing.
I would say that, sometime during the day, Alec would have made sure she contacted that native woman so she can watch over the house while we're gone.
Oh yeah, for sure. Which she had no problem with. She was happy to do so. Happy to do so. No.
Yeah.
Okay. So the old native woman and Charlie, man, that's a spinoff we need. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So, with that, the group of you prepare for sleep. But Morganix, did you want to try and commune with the Silver Rose tonight or in the morning before you left?
Tonight, if that's okay.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So, the 5 of you have dinner. Really, whatever you wish, as the food stores were completely full. And you all eat whatever you'd like and sleep one more night in your nice, comfy feather beds here. But before you get to that, Morganix, you head out into the exterior of the academy. A place that you are very familiar with, whether it be your time that you spent with Duncan here, although brief, still spent time there, and the week that you've spent here now. You make your way out to the fountained area, the different torches lit, and the path that is laid connecting the different areas. But you make your way to the statue of Ayun, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
Make your way to the statue of Ayun, glowing purple, radiating, especially in the dusk of the evening, closer to the black of night now. But you approach the statue. The glow of the light illuminates the area around you. And it's up to you. How do you wish to commune?
He wasn't very clear in his instructions here. She will kneel down in front of the statue and just sort of put her hands on the base of it. I need to speak to the Silver Rose. I don't know how to do it.
It's a brief moment. Pause. And then a slight ringing noise, like a tuning of a pitchfork. And then you hear his voice. Morganix. And it's odd because you hear his voice not in your mind like you hear others. It's coming from next to you, near you.
Yeah, I got plenty of voices to choose from.
As you open your eyes and look to the left, there he stands next to you.
Oh, that's great. We kind of ended things fast, and I still have a lot of questions. We're leaving tomorrow.
Yes.
Just to get this out of the way, can we use your house? We have a lot of refugees here.
Yes. Anything that exists in that place, I entrust it to you. Do what you
I
want
raided
with
your
it.
garden.
Well,
no need to beat around the bush then, I see.
I wasn't gonna hide it from you. I didn't think you'd mind.
No. I'm happy to know that it's not being put to waste.
No, a woman is gonna care for it while we're gone. And
Good.
the space could be used to house a lot of people.
Very well. I am fine with that.
Tomorrow we leave for New Efera. And once that is done, how do I get in contact with you again? Do I have to come back here?
No. Now that a connection has been made and strengthened here, if at any time you truly, truly, truly need me, you can reach out. And he'll kind of raise his hand and tap your temple. And you feel this sort of growth of divine knowledge, just a word burned into your memory. Reflect on that, and once a day, you can commune with me, if need be.
Thank you.
So pretty much once per long rest, you can cast a message, or not message, sending to him.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
But 25 words or less. Oof.
There you go.
Do you really think Melkanthet can be destroyed?
You see the smile that was on his face fade away a little bit. So he sort of looks down to the ground. In all honesty, I don't know. But for my brethren and sisterin who have fallen by her hands, I have to try.
How will that work? Do we have to go to the hells? I just need to start mentally preparing myself for this. I didn't think I had any hope, but now I might. And I need to wrap my mind around it.
Yes. I don't think it's any surprise to you, and I promise you I mean no offense with these words. But Organic, simply, even with me, you are not strong enough to take her on by yourself. Even with you and your companions, you are not. I can't even fathom the grief I would feel if any one of the 5 of you were to perish. However, there are other ways. I have started to do research, and I think I have a plan. But I'll need help. From you and from one other that you know quite well.
Galadar.
Correct.
He's in New Efera. I'm hoping to see him soon. I have a lot of questions for him, too.
Yes, I'm sure you do. If we could restore his divinity as well, the 2 of us would have no problem fighting her, taking her on, no matter how many of her thrall she throws at us. Us 2 combined could stop anything. But there is something else. Due to her nature, a prince, a lord of the abyss, at least she will be soon. Even if she were to be destroyed It might be 100 years, 200 years, 500, 1,000 years. She will reform. What needs to happen is not just her form being destroyed, but her core. She is powerful, but the core is weak. When it comes to it, that dark day that we must fight her, Galadar and myself will challenge her in the abyss. And all of you will be sent to destroy that core. Without that, she can no longer reform herself. She will be destroyed forever. I don't know where that core is yet. With time I may discover it, but with time I must discover it. But we will save you, Morganix. Galadar and I. We will do this. For you.
Thank you. I guess I'm getting a bit ahead of myself. But it's hard. It's all I can think about. I just want to make it right.
You can see him smile. A small glint in his eyes. I see why Galadar chose you. You are special, Morganix. Very special. I'm sure that when Galadar sees you, well, for one, I'm sure he'll be relieved, and for two, I bet you it will rival the happiest day of his life. He cared a great deal about you, and he still does. Well, is there anything else?
Not for now. I think that was it. I just had to ask. Thank you.
You're welcome, and thank you. Without you, I would not be here. And, I should say, that deck.
Yes?
Cyrus should be fine. But just be wary. Although I cleansed him and Sayla, there is something persistent following him. I don't know what it is. But with someone like you, he should be safe.
He seems to accrue followers wherever he goes.
Yes, he does seem to be very charismatic. Well, farewell, Morganix, and I look forward to our next encounter.
Me too.
With that, you can see him set his hand on the statue, and in the blink of an eye, he's gone, as if he was never there. You stand, the purple light radiating off of you, and that new knowledge in your head. Once a day, without consuming a spell slot, contact him.
Nice.
All right. Doing my thing, influencing. Alrighty. So with that, do you want to do anything else while you're out here, or are you just gonna head back inside?
I'm gonna go looking for Varnast.
Okay. Sure. Yeah. I'm sure at. Well, hi, Luna.
I'm so sorry,
That's
Luna.
okay.
It's just like, pay attention to me.
Trying really hard not to laugh this whole time.
But I didn't realize the new mic was picking her up.
I was curious what
That
was.
quality.
She's just sitting on my bed staring at me like, how dare you?
Yeah. So I'm sure that I'm sure that and Varnast, you might have some insight on this, but I mean it's probably 8:30, 9:30 right now. I'm assuming Varnast would still be awake.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, yeah. So pull all the scene. Okay. So mechanics having just came in. So at about this time, where would Varnast probably end up being in the current moment? Just in his room getting ready for bed, or?
Yeah, he's probably just like going over, making sure all of his stuff's like ready to go. Yeah, just making sure he's not forgetting anything, just kind of going over everything in his head. Probably looking over a map of like, Efera as like a whole, but like looking at like new Efera, just kind of thinking, just kind of doing his own thing.
Okay. All right. Sounds good to me. So, Morganix, you make your way in, and
I will go knock at his door.
Knock, knock.
Come in.
I will let myself in. Hi. I talked to the Silver Rose. He says we can use the mansion. I'll tell Alec too. He also said, even though he cleansed Cyrus from the deck, that spirit is possibly still following him, but he doesn't know why.
Hmm.
And I thought you would want to know.
Well, it's always good to get a confirmation, but with how much that thing had a hold on him, I can't say I'm surprised. Just one more thing for us to worry about, huh?
I mean, well, yeah. Maybe. Can you pack that spell for a while in case we need to save him?
Yeah, I can do that.
I have
Tomorrow.
another favor to ask of you.
Okay.
Could you send a message for me?
I actually don't know if I have another third level spell slot.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine. We just had to communicate with
I'm guessing you guys
Salamander.
would have like filled me in over dinner and stuff, and
Yeah,
Morganix
obviously.
would have felt like a shit for missing it all.
Yeah, I can send a message in the morning. There shouldn't be a need for many spells, so what do you need?
If you're sure, I want to see that my parents are taken care of. I don't... In my heart, I feel like Agatha had a personal vendetta against you. So she probably didn't send anyone after my family, but I feel like I need to cover my bases.
What do you want me to tell them exactly?
I'm actually going to have you contact the headmaster of the college.
Oh.
And they'll listen to her. I don't know how they would take that kind of news from me. I sent them a letter, but I'm gonna show you what she looks like and how she sounds, and ask for the college to provide them some protection. Maybe let them stay on the grounds for a couple of weeks until we're sure.
Okay.
And let her know that I have a letter coming explaining everything.
And I'll just say I know you.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I can do that come morning.
I hope it's not too much to ask. I'm very sorry.
Nah, I mean, we're traveling with an entire army tomorrow. If I'm short one spell slot, I think we'll be fine.
Thank you.
If not, well, damn.
I'm dying anyway. Good night.
Good night. Farnest grumbling or Luna growling.
She's doing it so softly. I can't believe how sensitive this mic is. I'm so sorry.
Impressive. But yeah, no worries.
Okay.
And Varnas will go back to doing his thing.
Alrighty.
Morgonix will go get her stuff packed. And she would tell Alec that she mentioned to Alec that they can use the Silver Roses mansion. But that doesn't have to be a whole conversation, just a quick, hey, we green light, go.
Yeah. Okay. Sweet. Alrighty, very cool. So with that, as the 5 of you head off to sleep, and then eventually the morning comes, it's to dawn, 7 a.m. You all prepare yourselves to travel with the natives to New Efera, stopping at the Leaping King briefly, and then at All's Crossing briefly. And eventually, 3 days' time, you will arrive in New Efera. But that's where we're going to go ahead and take a break. Quick 5-minute break. Try and make up for some of the time we lost. And then when we get back, I guess we'll see what's going on there. All right, cool.
Yeah.
So,
See ya.
B.R.B.
Let me figure out what my dog wants.
Hey.
Oh my goodness.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Roll with Advantage. Well, that's weird. Okay, there everybody is. All right. Welcome back to Roll with Advantage 5e. My name's Joe. We are back from the break. No need to dilly or dally, either or. Let's roll the intro and let's get into it.
Nice when you guys.
Woo!
Yeah, no, it will be nice when we move into a real place. Apartments aren't real. Heard it here first, everybody. Welcome back from the break, or welcome back from the intro. Let's go ahead and dive in. So, picking up where we left off, the group of adventurers, the Wardens of Efera, now find themselves on the dawn of the 21st of Shade Sun, ready to depart and head north through the Leaping King Inn and through the small village of All's Crossing to the city of New Efera to end this revolution once and for all.
I just want to note that Alec looks terrifying today. Like, full on face
Oh,
paint
yeah.
that looks like blood, and like she's painted like a skull on her face.
Oh, good.
Like black X's over her eyes. Just so we're aware.
Got
It's basically like you're going to a Misfits concert. That's my aesthetic. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Alrighty. So Alec looking terrifying, Cyrus looking like an influencer, Varnas looking like a very, very dapper and fearsome warrior. Let's not ignore Varnas style.
Not that anyone cares. The governor didn't.
He's not as handsome as Cyrus still, but
Yeah.
Piss off.
No.
piss off, Ghost.
Varnas
They're both
is
beautiful.
beautiful, yes. He's a rugged, handsome, like Josh Brolin. And
Thank you.
Cyrus is like James Franco, where it's like, damn. All right. Okay, let's move on.
Now that that's out of the way.
No, Cyrus is not James Franco. He is number 4 from Umbrella Academy. Do not change my mind. This opinion is perfect.
Oh, God, yeah, you're right. Oh, funny. All right. So, all of you ready yourselves on the dawn, getting ready to depart with the 800 able-bodied natives that were going to fight with you in taking back New Efera. Ko, due to his nature, is staying at the academy, but all of the other Kagan is coming with you for one, and all of the other able-bodied natives. So Ko will be working in New Verdalka, back and forth with the native woman that you worked with, Alec, in an effort to organize that sort of integration plan of integrating the natives into the society in whichever way works best, in accordance with Jalissa, who is now the acting governor. The Governor Torin, Annika, and Ulf will all be heading on ship, while the 5 of you are spearheading the land force. So you're in charge of that. You will also, on your way, be picking up Ethos and his soldiers, and whatever Nahara has scraped together in All's Crossing. So, with that, unless you guys have anything to... Oh, wait a second. Why's the stream being weird? Oh, God. This is just my internet. I guess we'll see what happens. So, with that, all of you are easily able to get yourselves ready in the morning, get together with the troops, and depart. So, is there anything specific you guys wanted to do before you leave, or are you just ready to head out?
I will
I'm-
leave a last offering on the statues of Ayun and Arathis.
Okay, sounds good to me.
Just sorry, didn't mean to cut you off, Ryan. I think we
No, you're
started at the
good.
same time.
You're good. No, I'm ready to go.
Okay. All right.
Alec will leave. She will leave something behind in her room for Asticia.
Okay. Very good.
Is it a corpse? Because those
It
floors
is.
have seen enough damage.
Yeah, it's a dead rabbit, my guy. I'm so sorry.
Never gonna get that smell out.
Alrighty. So, all of you eventually head from the walled city of New Verdalka back into the jungled roads and paths of the wilderness, of the jungle. So, let's get some appropriate ambiance. Oh, yes. Yes. So, from there, all of you spend the first day marching, and you get to the Leaping King Inn. You reunite with Ethos and his captains and his soldiers. So now a fairly large force of... Oh, geez, a lot now.
A lot.
Yes.
Math.
Upwards of all in total. I know in total, you'll have about 1,500 soldiers just on land, and then about 1,500 by sea. So 3,000 total. Quite the army.
Oh yeah, boys, we take it over.
Yep. So you reunite with Ethos and his soldiers, and Thomas and Fro. Very, very happy to see all of you. And there is, as they're in the Leaping King, with the help of Ethos and his soldiers, everything's been rebuilt, and it's ready to be reopened again. And you can see that as you arrive, there are some guests here that are currently drinking, and even a few games of Kingdoms and Castles being played. And yeah, so you spend just that night there. You sleep on the house with Thomas and Fro, and then from there, you head northward again to to All's Crossing, unless there was anything anybody wanted to do in the Leaping King.
Question
Yeah.
was, if I did Mask of Many Faces to show Varnast what Master Reginald looks like,
Oh yeah.
was he able to send that message for me?
Oh, yes, he would be.
Okay. Sorry, I just want to make sure.
No, that's okay. I forgot about that, so thank you for reminding me.
I'm so sorry. I feel like such a pain in the ass this
You are
session.
not. Stop.
You're the most wonderful person, and I'm gonna punch you with love. So shut
Okay.
Yeah, if
okay.
anything, I was the annoying
Oh,
person because
shut
I
up.
yelled Jalissa, so
up.
it's okay.
Ah, Jalissa.
Okay.
Jalissa! Okay,
That was pretty good.
so you are able to do that, and Varnast, you have a pretty good feeling that the spell will succeed with whatever message you send.
Yeah, and I don't know. I could come up with it, but I would use multiple spell slots if it took to get the information across. Since I'm not planning on there being anything chaotic going on while we're
I
traveling.
mean, I'm pretty sure I could write it down in 25 words or less. for him.
Perfect.
Okay. Do you want the actual message?
Yes.
Okay.
I do.
Okay.
With letters,
Hang
I'm
on.
fine with it being kind of like, it's something like this, a little bit of zhuzh. But with sending, I need exactsies, lady.
Okay.
Whatever she says, Varnast will just say it word for word.
Yeah. Be your own person, Varnast.
No.
Don't let others guide you. There's nothing wrong with individualism. I don't know what I'm saying. All right. Master. Okay, here. I just wanted to...
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Okay. Hold on a second.
Oh, whoopsie. Sorry, my bad.
Got 3 more words to use.
Image. There we go. Show the players. This is what Morganix ends up shifting into. Had the image. Thought I'd share. Master.
All right. Cool.
So, just mechanics. Quick pulls out a piece of parchment and something. It's like, okay, so doing.
Dang it! Just grumbling and crossing out words and. Okay. That's less than 25 words.
Cool. Oh.
Wonderful.
Way harder than it should be. I'm usually the one counting for other people.
Insist that they stay at the college. Like, am I supposed to elaborate, or literally just say that? Like, I insist
For
they stay
now.
at college?
Please insist that they stay at the college for now.
Okay.
Await letters.
And I'll repeat all that.
Okay. A few moments pass, and you do receive a response. I can do that. It is odd. I received complaints about those two just this month.
I'm sorry,
Asking
what?
for them to be expelled. Not expelled.
Fired?
Fired, yeah. Well, it's like a term for faculty, but yeah, fired.
Placed on administrative leave.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that all they say? Is that all she says?
That's all she has to say. Well, no, then she would cast message, because that's a spell she would have. Or sending, I mean.
Sending.
So there's like, it ends and you're about ready to tell Morganix. But then she says, because of this information, I will make sure that they stay at the college. Seems as though that might have been a ploy.
Okay. So, good news, bad news.
Okay.
She's gonna take care of it. She'll
That's
make
good.
sure they're staying at the college.
That's great.
Right. The bad news. Apparently there's been a lot of complaints about your parents, and apparently there was some pressure to get them removed from their positions. And now she's wondering if, in light of this new information, if maybe that's a setup of some kind.
No one has ever complained about my parents.
I'm not. I didn't say it was justified.
No.
I'm just saying.
No. And Morganix is just like rubbing her temples and pacing around and like trying to keep calm, but simultaneously wanting to dig up Agatha and kill her all over again. Something's not right. But they'll be safe at the college. Okay. Thank you. Okay.
Did you want me to contact anyone else, or?
No, I sent letters. Thank you.
Okay, I mean, I can do this 3 times a day, so if you change your mind, let me know.
Okay.
Okay.
And Morganix is just going to proceed to overthink that for the rest of the day.
Pin there.
Right?
Alrighty. So, with that, you stay at the Leaping King Inn for the night, waking up that next morning and preparing to head out. You make your way from the Leaping King Inn, traveling that day until eventually you do get to All's Crossing. So, you arrive in All's Crossing, and here we go. Sorry.
How has Cyrus been transported this whole time?
It's a great question.
I assume Alec has literally he just right on his back, on her back, just fucking piggyback style. Keep hoeing him around.
He would have done that thing where he's like, "No, I'm quite all right," and then after about 5 minutes, he's like, "Oh, my feet hurt."
Yeah, Alec would just grumble and just like throw him on top of her shoulders and like, let's go.
He's got a very smug grin.
She will also purposely like not duck under certain branches.
Power move. I respect that.
I'll have you know, if there are any bugs in said branches, you're gonna have a wild ride.
The things we do on this show.
Cyrus, roll a d100 for me.
Oh no.
Oh.
The tides of chaos.
Shouldn't have. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Oh yeah, I'm gonna need you to roll another d100 for me, Cyrus.
That's a bad number.
As
Yeah.
you're walking along, as you're walking along on Alec, you can see that there's a branch coming, and it looks like there's this really, really, really big, kind of thick leaf on it. And you stare at it, and you kind of tap Alec to move, but Alec, you've just been kind of fed up. He keeps making you move out of the way of leaves, and it's like it's just a leaf. Why worry? And you just kind of like pick up the pace and run him into the branch, and Cyrus, there is just this big fucking spider with like bits and pieces of fur tufts on it that is on your chest, and you scream, and you accidentally channel a wild magic surge.
Accidentally burn the fucking forest down.
As that happens, Alec is just gonna stop and just gonna say, "Why are you screaming?"
You see Cyrus fall unconscious.
Do I see the bug on him?
Yeah, the spider is still crawling on his chest, but he's just unconscious on the ground. He just fell off.
I will pick up the spider and just kind of nudge him with my foot.
Okay, 6 seconds pass, and Cyrus, you wake back up. You were unconscious for
Cyrus.
1 round.
This
Did I
Not-
slay the beast?
no, this friend wanted to visit you, and you know what? And she kind of like holds up the spider and looks at it. You see, these ones are actually.
Cyrus faints again.
She'll like nudge him with her foot again. Cyrus, come on, and I'll like try to smack him, not hard, but that's hard because Alec has arms.
Please. I-
Cyrus,
I-
are you okay?
I will walk if I must, I beg of you.
Look, they are harmless. And
What do you
these
mean?
ones- Right
This
here?
one,
Yeah.
this,
And he'll like reach out and just fucking fireballs it out of her hand.
Oh!
The spider
That's so
gives off like a
insane.
very loud like hiss, like cry, and then fizzles up and just is now crumply, burnt spider meat in your hand.
I slipped.
All right. Well, that's no matter. I was going to say that these are actually edible, and that my people. tend
Oh,
to
what a
both-
shame! Perhaps next time. What a wonderful delicacy.
Well, would you like to try it? And Alec will
No.
just bite it. And she'll just like bite the head off of it and offer him the rest.
Ah!
I think I'll save this for later when I'm rather peckish.
Good. This will keep your energy up, and she'll like put it in his hand.
He'll
Now
stare.
you gotta burn your hand off.
He'll stare at. Is Alec looking at him?
Oh, she's still chewing and like smiling at you.
He'll say, "Great! You know what? I think I'll try it now." And like turn to one side and just make the motion of eating it and just throw it behind him and say, "Yum!"
So fucking dead. Alec would believe that too. Is the sad. She'll just say, "See, I'm glad you're learning and trying new things. It's really good."
As you know, the forest is my place.
She'll like pat you on the back, really aggressively. She's happy. You're finally settling in her eyes.
May I climb aboard?
Yes, and I will be careful to watch some of the branches, but if you find any more and you want to stop for a quick snack, you just let me know.
What, what, what if I see something bad? Should I scream again?
As we're getting closer, I don't advise screaming. If there's something bad, Cyrus, I will see it.
Perhaps a soft cry.
Cyrus, there's nothing awful in these parts of the forest, I promise you.
Yes.
Great. And she will quite easily just throw him on her back.
Alright.
Cyrus, you see Varnas is trying really hard not to laugh right now. But he's got that smile that clearly he's holding something back.
Proper shit-eating grin.
Oh yes, so much.
Alrighty. Oh god, amazing. Alrighty. Cool. So, you make your way from that, and eventually you do make your way to All's Crossing. The city thriving and absolutely succeeding in its mission to an extraordinary degree. The city has grown just a little bit. More buildings are being made, being reinforced. Each one of them, although they are of colonist design and structure, all of them have their own native flair, whether that be specially designed roofs to help deal with constant rain pour, using the flexibility of the lumber that exists in the slumbering jungle to create these very intricate curved designs to different houses and structures. It's nice to see something that you're trying to strive for, something you're trying to succeed, actually succeeding, at least in a small way. As you make your way here, Philip is, of course, happy to see you. And as all of you make your way into All's Crossing with your army, Nahara is here as well, as she has made her way back now. And Gray, also, the three of them begin to approach you as the five of you sort of leading the troops in. And as they approach you, you can see Nahara sort of leading them in like a triangle formation, approaches you, Cyrus, and says, I think, well, for one, it is good to see all of you again. I am relieved that all of you made it safe and now you are here. But it seems as though there is a visitor here for all of you. He is currently talking to Maya right now.
I suppose I should probably climb down here, Alec.
Alec will gently lower him to the ground.
The tavern has been evacuated. They are there alone if you would like to join them. Would you like any of us to come with you, or is this best for you to do alone?
No, you can all come. We're family, right?
Right.
Who was that addressed to?
Everyone.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, I'm coming.
Concerned.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very well. And Philip and Gray and Nahara, the three of them follow the five of you and Kagan, and all of you begin to make your way towards the tavern. And Athos does stop you, Cyrus, and he says,
Come get me after you're done discussing things and smoothing things over. Last interaction Imariel and I had wasn't exactly the most, friendly. I was
Sure.
things were different back then. Good luck, my boy.
And he heads off and starts shouting out commands to the different soldiers, dispersing them through the village, getting ready to head to sleep, ready to leave in the morning. But make your way into the tavern, and there you can see one Rune Master Emery sitting in front of Maya. And it's odd, you can see a woman is also in this room. A very, very large woman, even bigger, like taller and wider than Alec. An absolute tank of a woman, with long, long, long braided blonde hair that goes about down to the small of her back. Face painted blue entirely. And it's odd, the sort of parallels between her and Alec. But definitely from a different place. And Varnest, you recognize the garb, the weapon, the style. This is a shield maiden of Jormungandry, of your home. Standing in the corner of the room, just keeping an eye out. And as soon as the door opens and Cyrus, you step through, the joking that was happening between Emeriel and Maya stops as the two of them look towards the door and see you. And you can see Emeriel look to you, Cyrus, and a smile comes across his face as he gets up from the table and begins to make his way over towards you. And if you let him, he hugs you.
Yeah, Cyrus is a bit apprehensive, but he's like, I told you I'd be back.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. I never doubted you, Cyrus. And I told you we would speak again. And the rest of you, I'm relieved to see that all of you are doing well. Also. He smiles. Oh, many apologies. This here is Sigrun. As he gestured towards the large woman standing in the corner of the room. She is a friend and traveling companion of mine.
Didn't think that was your type.
No, traveling companion, a protector. So let me go ahead, and that is Keeper Sigrun. And in case you happen to have forgotten, Rune Master Emeriel, maybe. There we go. Okay. So, go ahead and
At about this point, it's about 8 p.m., getting into the night. Sun is set by the time you guys do get here. And Emeriel kind of pats the side of your face, Cyrus, and then sets his hand on your shoulder.
you all did it. Can't tell you how relieved I am.
And he makes his way back towards the table to sit with Maya. Kind of grabs her hand and squeezes it a little bit.
So, I take it all of you... Well, I hope all of you are proud of yourselves. I know there's still one more fight left, but... After that, you've done a great thing for these people. And you should be proud of yourselves. I hope you know that.
Well, Yes, but you know how it is. We do this and then on to the next thing, which unfortunately has a rather strict time limit on.
Yes. Yes. You all definitely keep busy.
Will you be aiding us in the fight?
Yes, in the fight, I will. If it is true
I
that number 7 is there, I will deal with him. Cyrus, I mean no disrespect to you, but he was a student as well, obviously, and he went.
Did you tell this one to blow up on me as well?
No. All of my students have had different vices or issues or things they've had to overcome. And this one in particular, he had a knack for experimentation. Which, considering what the Governator wanted to accomplish when I was there, I can understand why he reached out to him.
Forgive me, darling. As much as it's nice to see you, the last time I saw you, you said it wouldn't be some time. I then didn't hear from you, or at least I thought I might have. Turns out it didn't. I tried to get away from everyone and destroy myself and various other things. I then had a fight with a student that I didn't know was a fellow student. Killed them. I may concede the point. As much as I disagree with my friend's CSA, I almost died. I think it's all a bit dramatic. But they did, in fact, explode on me. Now, mixed feelings. You have to understand, I'm a little angry, if I'm being honest.
I understand. Believe me, I haven't been entirely honest with you, and
No?
I know that. Much has changed in these past 2 weeks. 3 weeks almost now. And there are some things that I wish to share with all of you, and if you'll allow it, there are things that I wish to share with just Cyrus. I understand, though, if you distrust me that much, that you wish to hear all of them. I only ask that Maya not be in here when we discuss those things. And you can see Maya kind of scooch away a little bit from him. Why not? Fine. Fine. Whatever all of you decide, everyone can hear it if they so deem it's necessary.
Well, Cyrus is our friend, and if he wants us to stay, we will. And I say that with no disrespect.
I agree, though. I'm not entirely sure I trust you alone with him to begin with.
Yeah, same. Kind of. But whatever Cyrus wants.
Yeah, can we do insights?
Yeah, sure. And these will just be insight checks for this entire interaction.
Hey!
Where it counts.
Oof, oof.
Cyrus would not be inciting. I think he's too distracted.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Ooh. Like that. And, oh, yeah.
Well, there's
Zayla's
really...
over here.
stunning
God.
woman next to her. What do you want? I don't think Alec has ever seen anyone like her before, and she's kind of like, oh,
Hey.
Alex in gay panic.
what is this feeling? I don't understand it.
It's literally the dean community. I hope this doesn't awaken anything inside me.
Oh God, yeah, that's funny. I didn't. Oh, that's really funny. Okay.
Gonna climb that like a tree.
Hey,
So
nah, Alec is too weird. Girl doesn't understand feelings.
Oh,
As I
God.
said, gay panic.
Yep. All right. So then, it's safe to say, Selah, Alec, anything that comes up, anything that's said, you instinctively trust it. If anything comes up, Morganix, Varnast, I will mention it to you. But this will be sort of your insight check for this entire interaction, okay?
Okay.
Works for me.
I bet it works for you.
Okay.
Oh.
First, the information I'd like to share with all of you. Any of the work that I did for the Governado was not because I wanted to. Of course, I was interested in the history of the Gnolls and how they came to be. As any good mage, whether they be a wizard or sorcerer, or even the more studious warlock, there is a desire to learn how things work, to disassemble them and reassemble them. Knowledge is worth its weight in platinum. I wanted to know how they worked, how this curse happened. When I found out what I wanted to, I was ready to be done, but the Governado wanted more. He knew of Gnolls turning his own soldiers, his own troops into them. He wanted to know how to do it, but how to have bloodthirsty animals as his main fighting force. I didn't want to do it, but he... Needless to say, he blackmailed me. This is what I had mentioned to all of you before when you were in my tower. Someone very close to me was in the Gemstone Archipelago. And I wanted you to make sure they were safe. Because he knew where they were. And they would be willing to do anything to keep me there. So I did what I had to do for him. I put aside my own personal goals, my own everything. I wasted so much time. Valuable time. Because of my feelings. That is thing one. Thing two is number 7. As I said, he has an affinity for experimentation and almost a obsession, a perversion with it. He was grotesque, and he didn't know when to stop, when too much was it. He became obsessed with these dwarves in Iverion. The Dowie, I believe they were called. Became obsessed with learning how they worked. But I assume now that he must have given up on that and has come back here to work for the Governado. So number 7, I will deal with him. That is what I wished to share with everyone. Now, as I said, I'll understand if any of you would like to stay, but it was K. Not so good. I understand if you all want to stay, but The rest of this is private between Cyrus and myself. But I
Alec
understand.
just kind of looks to Cyrus, waiting to see before she moves.
Same.
Private for me or private for you?
In all honesty, private for me because it's a spot of great shame for me. And Morganix Varnas, that's the truth. He's ashamed of what he's planning on saying.
Well, as conflicted as I am, I like everything shared between us all. However, I don't expect you to share whatever shames you with everyone. If it's more about you than it is me, then I'll accept it on in private, and I'll be fine. Everyone, you don't need to worry.
We'll be right outside. And I sort of squeeze Cyrus's shoulder as I leave.
Sayla's gonna lean up and be like, if you want me to kill him, just let me. And she's gonna walk away.
Cyrus looks horrified.
You can, regardless of how low your breath was, Sayla, you can see that large woman in the corner that he addressed as Sigrun is staring you down right now.
Sayla gives no shits.
Oh, man.
Alec will give Cyrus like very meaningful and briefly make eye contact with that woman, because like Alec also means business too, like for her friends. And then she'll go outside.
And Imariel does turn to her in the corner of the room and says, Sigrun, you may leave as well. She nods and says, of course, I will do this for you. In this very low, raspy voice. And makes her way out. So it is just Cyrus and Imariel. You can see Maya, she definitely like is sort of planting herself on the bar stool that she's sitting on and says, no, I don't. I'm tired of secrets. When I was still your student, because apparently I'm not anymore. Apparently Cyrus is my teacher now, but even Cyrus doesn't stay. He asked me to stay here, and so I just don't want any secrets anymore. Maya, Oh, so now you can call me Maya? Now I'm not 15 anymore? So I'm really not your student anymore, am I? Maya, whatever. I don't even care. And she just gets up and leaves. You can see him just rubbing his temple as she leaves and slams the door behind her.
She'll come around. She's still very young.
I met another like her. A spiteful, angry young girl. It's the first thing that I wanted to say to you. My true work is much more complex than just an archmage to a selfish man. There are many things in this world, Cyrus, that wish to tip the scales in their balance or destroy it entirely, reshape it in their image. Myself and those that I ally myself with, they try to ensure that that doesn't happen. It's the reason why I have students. I try and teach people that I can find, teach those that have talent like mine, like yours, like Maya. I try and teach them the way to use their powers properly so those forces can't creep in and try and change them, try and corrupt them.
Yes, about that one. Never mind, maybe later.
You see him kind of exhale because you kind of gather he already knows what might be coming.
There's a girl. She currently is in the Central Salamander in the nation of Bella Clara. Our training has just begun, and I will continue to train her for the next month after we finish what started here. Her name is Cecily. As I said, she's a spiteful young girl, but she is powerful. Very powerful. She reminds me a lot of you when you were younger. A little less sassy, and a little more aggressive, but like you. And well, I understand Efera, for a while, will be under duress and under... It will need a savior. She's traveling with companions now, and they're good for her. They'll set her on the right path, but if anything happens to me, I want you to know of her. Because a day will come where those of my students who are still good, who are still on the right path, they will be needed.
Second point. Turns out I'm a pretty shit teacher.
I was too. Why do you think so many of my students hate me and leave me and go to someone who gives them everything they ever wanted?
Yes, I don't remember you drinking and turning me into a potted plant.
I see she's
don't
having a
think-
little bit of trouble.
I don't think she still quite forgives me for that one, because it was rather funny.
I'm sure with time. With time, she'll trust you. It seems like she already does, more than me at least. You'll grow into it, Cyrus. You have what it takes to be a good teacher. A good friend. And to those two, will most likely end up being practically a father to them. At least that's what you should be. You shouldn't abandon them. Everything I ever did, I did it because there's only so much time. There's only so much time before the next thing, the next problem.
Oh, don't I know that?
That's the first thing. That girl, Cecily, after you are finished in Efera, there may come a time when you need to find her. And if I am no longer here, whatever reason, you'll find it easy to find her. I promise you that.
Okay.
Which brings me to my second thing. I am old. Cyrus, I'm very old. Not just because of my elven nature, but also tell me, Cyrus, how much research have you done on powerful magics, if any? Stories you've heard?
Let's assume non zero non amount.
Studying never was your forte. It's all right. Some very powerful mages, they have an ability to clone themselves. To make it's called a simulacrum. An identical copy, but weaker. Some facets. In all honesty, I do not know what number of simulacrum I am. But it has gotten
what?
It has gotten to the point where if I were on battlefield and I took a stray arrow, it could be enough to end me. That is why I keep her around with me. She's a fearsome warrior, and the order that I follow, she would die for me, if need be. Fall upon her sword if I asked her to. Undying loyalty. So that's the second thing. There's still two more. This one is my greatest shame. And I can't believe I'm telling you, but you need to know the truth, Cyrus. You have a hard time remembering your past before the incident.
I still don't really remember anything, yes.
No, and you most likely never will. You see, with all of my students up until that point, they had been flawed. They had become obsessed. They had become obsessive and compulsive and going off of their most base instincts of consumption and want. Almost all of them. And I was almost ready to give up, abandon my cause, and live a life of anonymity and seclusion. But then I met her. God. She was the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. Penelope. I was ready to give up until I saw the face of that child that we had. I saw that face, and I saw what that child was capable of. And so I thought if there was ever going to be one person who could live up to my expectations and
could succeed me, it would be my son. And he looks at you there. I pushed you too hard. I became so self-obsessed with my own legacy that I did something unimaginable. And Penelope, she never forgave me. Rightfully so, I deserve it. And the Governado knew where she was and held her over my head. She wanted nothing to do with me. Nothing. I just wanted to keep her safe. So I did these horrible things. And they all could have been avoided if I wouldn't have pushed you so hard. I'm sorry I did what I did, Cyrus. I know you'll never forgive me. But I would rather you know and hate me for it than live your life in a dream, with no knowledge of who you are, where you come from.
So, not only did I actually have parents, but I have no memory of them. And now you tell me I have a mother somewhere that even you don't know the whereabouts of, and
No,
I have no memory of this childhood that's been taken from me.
I know where she is, Cyrus. And I would be more than happy to tell you. She's in Port Sahala, in the Gemstone Archipelago. Penelope Casario.
So you favored me as a student because you cast me away as a child and saw me as your legacy rather than your own.
I know, that's how I did see it, Cyrus, but now I know that I made a mistake. But there are things in this existence that if I do not do my job, if I do not keep my watch, it all comes collapsing in on itself. And I needed someone who could fill that gap.
Your job is to be your father. My fucking dad. I don't have any memory of my childhood. Only that miserable fucking place in the snow you sent me. And I had a family all this time. And I had no answers to this chaos. Or anyone to turn to. And no memory of it.
Cyrus, I'm sorry. And I know you won't forgive me, but I needed you to know the truth. Because there are things that are happening
past 10 years I spent with the Governado, there is something that is stirring. Something that I was too blind to see. I was too worried about Penelope and after number 7 is dealt with, I will train Cecily till I deem she's ready. And then I must head into the great beyond in an attempt to stall whatever's coming. I do not know if I'll return. But you needed to know the truth, if that be the case.
Well, we've certainly got some work before that happens. And right now, before we continue this, I'd prefer to end this promise I made and, well, and Cyrus will like go to the bar and just grab whatever fucking bottle's there and just fucking down it.
You can see him open his mouth to say something, but then he just closes it. And his lips grow tight across his face.
And then, when he finishes, he'll say, I'm not sure if you had it in mind to raise an alcoholic, but then again, you didn't raise me. And then move on to the next bottle.
Cyrus, I don't know what to say. I've memorized all the histories of all the peoples of the world, every spell and incantation known to humankind. But the one thing I wasn't ready for was being a parent. I destroyed what chance you had of a normal life. And I did it for my own self-obsession with not just my legacy, but and you can see as you're just drinking, almost not even paying attention, he just stops. I do love you, Cyrus. I did then, and I do now, but time has changed me. Losing Penelope, losing you. I've been wounded before, burned, dismantled piece by piece, brought back. But no pain will ever come close to the way you cried and the way Penelope looked at me. Nothing will ever come close.
Well, I suppose you'd best stop trying. Because by the sounds of it, we don't outlaw.
All right. I know it won't be today or tomorrow, 10, 15, 20 years, but I do hope that one day you'll be able to forgive me. As intangible as that may seem.
At least you're here and helping with this part.
Yes. Yes. Suppose I should go discuss with Sigun and inform her as to and you can see him just blinking, looking at the ground, stuttering, stammering, not exactly sure where to go next.
So I was never a Drager. I'm a what? Is it Zamir? Zamir what? What's my name?
Your true name, when the Dragos took you in, I made them keep Zamir. But you took her last name. Casario. Even as a baby, you had a flair for the dramatic, just as your mother.
Right.
I suppose then I will leave you to it. I best try and find Maya and calm her down.
Yes.
Yes. He starts to walk towards the door, and he stops at the handle and rests his fingers on it and looks off to you at the bar. And he wants to say something, but he just keeps his mouth closed, looks down at the ground, opens the door, and leaves you in there by yourself. All of you standing outside of the tavern can see Emeriel exit and tries to hold up a facade of a smile, but Morganix Varnast, you see right through it. The puffy cheeks and the red eyes, although they're shrouded in that purple iris, they still are marks of a crying man.
I will immediately go to find Cyrus.
Cyrus would have slumped behind the bar, just crying and drinking, and then held the mage hand at the door.
Oh, jeez.
Is there a
Oh,
window?
anyway.
Because Sayla will break in the window.
Well, mage hand can only withstand 10 pounds of
It's
pressure.
not a lot of force.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
just to
okay,
keep it
never
closed.
mind.
Yeah.
Just enough that you'd feel some pressure.
Yeah, exactly. But even Morganix, you could move over to it and feel that nudge and then push into it and get through the door.
I will pause when I feel that nudge, because that's a very clear sign that I'm not wanted. And I will knock gently.
Can we hear him?
That's a great question.
Probably Varnast for sure, with his million passive perception, yeah.
Hell yeah.
So, but I'd say like when you go and feel the nudge on the door, the crack opening, Morganix, you could probably hear the whimpers a little bit, although muffled.
All right.
Emmeril turns.
Cyrus. Sorry.
Emmeril turns towards the door as you're going to open it and says, I will be waiting near New Efera with Sigrun. When we see all you arriving, we'll deal with number 7. Sigrun, let's go.
Thank you.
And he nods, and you see him and Sigrun. He grabs onto her shoulder, and they walk through a portal, and they're gone.
Yeah, Alec will look towards the door where Morganix is. Is he in there still? What's going on?
Cyrus. May we come in?
I'm. Don't worry about me. I'm fine.
Well, I don't think you are, but it's okay not to be fine. Maybe you'd like some company?
I don't respond.
Alec looks at Morganix.
Morganix is just kind of looking back like, oh, crap. And I'm just going to kind of mouth, he's crying.
Hey, Cyrus, you said we're family. Family is, intrusive, and she just walks in.
I mean, she's not wrong.
Yeah, Alec would be very quickly behind.
Yeah.
Yep, there you go.
She opened the door. We're walking through.
Yep.
I'm assuming Varnast is going in with all this as well.
He's like hanging at the door, but he's not like stepping in yet. One, to make sure no one else comes in, and also he has mixed feelings about whether or not they should be doing this or not.
Oh yeah,
no. So he'll be leaning in the doorway, and anyone who comes close, they'll get a look.
Yeah, no, all of the everybody who's here can read the room, and they're like, yeah, I got a thing to do over here. Somebody's just Nahara's just standing near boxes, like, yep, these are boxes. Yep.
Good.
So yeah, all of you are sufficiently alone right now.
Do you want to talk about it?
There's nothing to talk about. I don't know half of it myself.
Okay.
And he just fucking reeks of booze.
Checks out. We don't have to talk if you don't want to. We could just sit and drink with you. If that's what you need. We're here for you. We love you. Sayla will go kill him if you want her to.
I will.
No, I'd rather you not kill my dad.
What?
What?
Oh.
Is that what he said to you? Is that true?
Yes.
Why is he leaving? Where is he going? Is he going to leave? And after?
He's training some child near the Salamander coast.
Is this child your sibling?
I don't think so. I think she's just equally chaotic, but apparently quite. She's the shitty to my flamboyant. But no, just another student.
Sayla's gonna go get a bottle and flop down close by, but not like right beside him. Just join in on his sitting there.
Yep.
Alec is gonna hug Cyrus too tight.
I think Cyrus would normally like kind of resist or like make a comment, but I think he's just done. He's just like,
Oh.
okay.
Baby. Yeah. But she'll hug him and then also sit on the floor next to him.
Yeah, Morgonix will sit on the other side.
If you don't mind, I'd like to get drunk.
For once, that seems fair. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna give you shit.
Varnast like shuts the door, locks it if that's an option.
Yeah.
And he'll walk over. Well, I recommend you at least get drunk on the good stuff, and he'll pull out the bottle that he bought a few days ago and hold it out to Cyrus.
Wait, is that gold?
Yeah, it's actually like gold flakes they put into the alcohol. I don't know what that does to help, but it made me think of you.
Well, it'll give a fancy morning.
Indeed.
Well, yes. Thank you. Thank you. And like, rather than just downing the bottle, he'll actually like pour out glasses for people.
Morgonix will pull out the fire plane flower that she put in a glass jar. I got this for you. It's from the fire plane. Don't eat it. I just know you like pretty things.
Jeez, guys, show me up. I have no gifts. I'm just offering.
Varnast shrugs.
I'm just gonna offer company because I have nothing else. And she just starts sipping on the golden fleck drink and like kind of observing it like, is that actually safe to actually drink?
Safe enough.
Cyrus
He
will
didn't
put
say.
the little flower in his like top breast pocket of his little waistcoat.
Varnast will sit down with the group as well.
Okay.
I did say I'd beat the shit out of the next guy that hurt you. And he kind of has that look like, does that apply now? Or you can tell like he's kind of trying to be funny, but it's not really his forte. So you're kind of like,
I can
are
join
you being
in on-
serious right now?
I can join in on that and do some stabbing. I mean that. I'm being very serious.
No, what worries me is that I believe you. No, I appreciate that very much. Perhaps we save it for the person that actually tries to attend me harm, and then we actually kick the living fuck out of them.
Alright, you just let me know.
But
Alec, you know what would make him really happy?
no.
The sandwich?
We could
No.
go get a boar and do
I
a
can
fry.
do this.
No.
Cyrus, would you enjoy that?
If it's prepared for me, yes.
Cyrus, I care about you very much. And You've always been very understanding and very nice to me. And it does really hurt to see you this way. Even though you may not think so, I feel as though you are very strong. Not in the same way as I am strong.
I have muscles, they're just under these fancy clothes.
Of course they are. But you know how to talk to people much better than I know how to, and I look up to that, and like I said, you're my friend, and it hurts to see you so sad.
Well, thank you all. I thought I was some selfish little boy from Slashtat with a noble family. But another thing, turns out, not a noble. Not that anyone needs to know that. It's worked out quite well in my favor so far.
You have a noble's taste. No one's going to ever believe that you're not, so you should be fine.
Hero to a continent trumps noble any day.
Yeah. I think warden's a better title.
I agree.
Well, here's to all of you. And, my mom, apparently, my third name. I'm Zamir Casario.
What do you want your name to be?
I don't know anymore. I don't have a memory of my name before. I knew Zamir Dregu, but that was
I
bullshit.
really like Cyrus. I think that's a great name.
I do too.
Cyrus sounds better.
I mean, I can't change it now to have a literal brand. My brand.
It's true.
Cyrus, bro.
Yes.
It's good.
An influencer, and she says it, and you can tell it doesn't really roll off her tongue very well.
It just hurts her.
The ego is coming back. It's sustaining me. Well, I will admit I'm rather excited for the brand. And of course, the influence I spread, as you just said, I am the hero of a continent. So perhaps we should drink like heroes.
I agree.
Well, not all of us are getting carried to the battle tomorrow.
Quite
was a
literally, she's eyeing Cyrus.
I'll have you know, on the way here, I slayed a great beast.
You mean the giant spider?
I witnessed it, and it was a very heroic event.
Okay. I guess, yeah. Spiders are... Okay.
Cyrus,
She's
I will-
trying so hard.
I will gladly carry you into battle anytime.
Cyrus, do you want to see him again?
Yes.
Okay.
Not now. But yes.
Alright. So, with that, as that comment falls over the room, and then the five of you crack open your drinks. You toast to each other, to the wardens of Efera, and the victory will come tomorrow evening when you reclaim New Efera. And on that note,
No.
that is where we're gonna
But
end
we played for like
tonight's
2 minutes,
session.
my guy.
I know it was like 2 minutes. I'm sorry. It's Ryan's fault because he challenged me, and it broke my computer.
Literally did no such thing. Just asked if it was ready or not.
Oh no, it's my fault. My own hubris
Yeah.
blinded me.
Why does Efera go by so fast?
It does.
Because we're awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys make it so fun.
I'm just gonna quit my
A
job so I can
plus
start
quality.
sooner.
S
Bye.
tier.
Who needs money? Who needs to work? Not
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, no, not me either. Oh my God, Jesus, Jamie. Oh, he photoshopped Klaus from from Umbrella Academy purple.
Screen share that into the stream.
Oh yeah, here, let me.
Oh my god.
Really good.
What a note to end on.
Look at that. Check that out on the stream. There you go.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Wow.
Oh god, his hair's even all black now too, because he got de-ageified. All right, well, thanks everybody for watching. Greatly appreciate you. If you are still watching and you just can't get enough of me for some reason, tune in tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, because I, myself, and Mark J. Judge, the co-owner of the channel, he does all the like D&D advice videos, and also plays Cecily in the Salamander Coast. Oh yeah, a little bit of crossover between the campaigns. Look at that, we got it going on now. Perfection. Yeah, a lot of it actually. At least this one isn't, hey, I need you to go kill her, Cyrus.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would not be good. No, you need to go
Yeah,
kill her.
we're not there yet.
Oh, I guess it'll just depend on the path Cecily goes down. Anyway, tune in tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, because I and Mark will be playing through the entirety of God of War on New Game Plus in one sitting for a Kiddigan. Kiddigan being a charity that raises money for children with families with children with life-threatening diseases, to give them a year of vacations with zero cost to the family. It's a wonderful charity, and I'm super duper excited to be supporting it and raising money for it, because they do a lot of really, really good work. So tune in tomorrow then. And if you can't tune in immediately, well, we'll be there for 24 hours, so you can really tune in whenever. We'll be there. You live in New Zealand, you live in Australia, the UK, Canada, Alaska, Russia,
Mars?
wherever. You could live anywhere, and we will be online during your free time, because that's how that works. Oh man, alrighty. Well, thank you for watching. Thank you for, also thank you to my wonderful players. I feel like I don't say that enough. I love you guys. You really...
No, you really don't.
You really... You know what? I take it back. Fuck you guys. I don't even care. No. Yeah, no, it's great. Y'all are great. Very excited to see next Friday. See what happens there, because... Oh, fuck. Doesn't ever end. Efera always is sad. Just... That's the vibe. So, thanks for watching, and we will see you next week. Farewell!
Bye.